Hey interwebs, it's Jackie K and welcome for another Pokemon battle. This time I finally got a 6v6 for you guys. And the fact that we have it now, there's a bit of a story to it. First of all, the guy I'm battling against, Haydunn, is a really cool dude and he does Pokemon battles on his own channel. Arguably better than I do. He's one of the first guys that I watch, and definitely one of the first to convince me that it could be fun to watch them. He just makes good plays, has interesting and yet good teams, and is really cool and chill, yet fun with his commentary. So I'll put a card up now and highly encourage you guys to check it out. As for how I came across this battle, long story short, I was on Twitter, he tweeted out, like he usually does to his fellow fans, "Hey, you want a battle?" And despite being old, I just got out of work, so what was the harm? It's like, hey, I know it's late, but do you want a battle? And he's like, sure. And I'm like, oh crud, I didn't actually expect you to say yes. Let me get a team together. And here we are. So this is pretty much just a general OU set. His team's a bit more experimental. Mine's basically what I have and like that worked well for me in a proper setting and not in a 3v3 on battle competition, so maybe it could do better. That's at least my frame of thinking. Now, I know Tapu Koko does work, so I'm going to lead off with my Doug Trio, hoping to catch it on the oncoming. What I catch on the opening turn with my Doug Trio turns out to be far, far worse. Beedrill. And if I had any common sense about this Pokemon going in, I probably would have realized that if you have a Beedrill on your team, it's going to be Mega, and that's what you're going to lead off with. To be fair, I don't think I've ever faced up against a Mega Beedrill. So the only things I know about it was the complaint he did about how freaking frail they are earlier in the day. Unfortunately for me, it's frail because it's a fast, strong hitting sweeper. So despite resisting the attack, my Doug Trio is a frail as nails thing despite being made out of metal, and almost goes down to a U-turn of all things. So not only does he get a massive amount of damage off on me, but my attack does diddly squat. Now, I want this Doug Trio for later. I still want to have it for the Tapu. So I send my Umbreon in here, hopefully to at least toxic the wall, because once you poison a wall, they can't do too much. And he knocks off my Rocky Helmet. Really sucks to lose that early on. I'm hoping at least to get a Toxic, but of course he swaps into the Poison type to resist the Toxic. Now I'm pretty much sacking off my Umbreon at this point. So I go for Toxic, not thinking that I would actually survive, but I do. So I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm actually going to be able to get a Toxic off on something. I see the Tapu come in, and I'm getting really excited, really pumped that my Umbreon's efforts aren't going to vain, and I miss. I mean, that's what happens when you run Toxic on a non-poison Pokemon. You just gotta deal with the fact that it can miss. And I guess I would be a lot more upset if I wasn't trying to sack off my Umbreon to begin with. Out of all Pokemon that I could have sacrificed to the Beedrill gods, Umbreon just seemed like the best choice, considering so many Pokemon in his team. We're gonna obliterate that Umbreon anyways. Now I go for the Earthquake here, even though the switch was obvious, just to assure myself that it was a levitating Bronzong. And I'm gonna get out of here, because I gotta do some work to this thing as quick as I can. Or take a prime opportunity to set up. Because I've used a Bronzong in the 6th generation, X and Y's generation. So I know what you do with these. You use the bulkiness of it to set up your light screen, set up your reflect, get some rocks if you're better than I am, and then get out. So to counteract all the screens I'm going to have to deal with, I'm just force dancing as much as I can. And he's going to swap into his noodles, and I'm like, are you sure you really want to do that? My Mimikyu is a poor starving golf college student, and she could really go for some noodles. She's going to sharpen up her knives and chow right in. So the knives are sharpened, she's going to chow right in, and I'm greeted with a bunch of rocks in my noodles. and I am about ready to complain to the waiter about it. Now, I'm not too worried, but then he sleep powders me. And I'm like, crud, I think I made a mistake. Psych, I got the Lumberry. And while I should switch out to conserve my Mimikyu, I decided to stay in, because I was thinking that I might have actually scared him out with the fact that I got a leash life that'll do half damage. He's gonna take care of that, but nope, he just stays in and makes me go to snooze. And at this point, I've set up with my Mimikyu so much that I'm willing to take the risk and just try to wake up. I can't really think of an opportunity that I'll be able to get this Mimikyu back in the future. So I'm just gonna pray that I wake up. And thankfully for me, I wake up relatively quickly. I'm gonna leech life, get all my health back, but not take it out. If I would have gone for one Swords Dance over a leech life, I would have been in a lot better of a situation and not had that Rocky Helmet put me in a range that I'd be able to get priority attacked by something else in the future. I wonder what he has on his team that would have a priority move. Nevertheless, I will be content with whatever health I can get. Yeah, Rocky Helmet. You know, it would have been really nice if I got an opportunity to use my Rocky Helmet, but I'm not. Now, if you send out a Zoomerol against something like a Mimikyu, you probably have Aqua Jet, so I'm just gonna go for a Shadow Sneak to get some sort of damage before my inevitable demise. There, Cuddles. You did your best. You had a hearty breakfast. I can't complain. I'm gonna send Leo out here. Predicting the switch here, I decided to go for a Volt Switch myself, so I will at least be able to get some damage and take full opportunity of my choice specs. Seeing this guy come in, I'm thinking, geez, it would have been nice to have a Mimikyu. It would have been nice to have something that could just take this thing out before it could set up. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to hope that I can scald it enough and that it can't do anything to me. And then I'll eventually be able to wear it out. So I'm just going to keep throwing hot water at things until they burn. As to be expected, he gets his light screen up, and he's probably going to go for the Reflect the next turn. Now, I should note my Milotic is actually competitive, not the Marvel scale that normally makes them up. I don't know, it was a breeding accident, and it was working fairly well with VGC, where Gyarados and Arcanine was fairly common, so I decided to keep it for this fight. Unfortunately, it doesn't translate well to V6. But what does translate well is the fact that I still have Protect on this Milotic. Because he's gonna predict me to switch, because who wants to be a water type and take a Thunderbolt in the electric terrain from a Tapu Koko? But I'm gonna go for Protect. One, to try to stall out the electric terrain ever so slightly, and to see what he's gonna do. The fact he uses Hidden Power again kind of gives me the impression that he has that aim for my Doug Trio. So instead of going into my Doug Trio, I am just going to go into my Raichu as a middle ground. Hopefully either to take the Hidden Power or survive the Thunderbolt. Unfortunately for me, he goes for the Thunderbolt. But thankfully I am able to survive. Now, I do outspeed because of the electric terrain. And I was hoping, even though it was a big gamble, that I would be able to take out the Tapu Koko or at least get into burn KO range. So I just go for the Choice Specs Thunderbolt. What's the worst that could happen? Turns out he switches into his Bikini here, and it works out rather nicely for me. I almost do half damage, and I can't tell if I just got the lowest damage I possibly could. So I take the gamble that I will be able to take it out. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and I am going to lose my Raichu. But at least I pretty much obliterated this Bikini. Would have been nice to KO it, but at least I can bring my Doug Trio in here to finish the job. Best case scenario, he just leaves it in for fodder. Worst case scenario, in my feeble mind, I get solid damage off on something. The real worst case scenario, I get to see Bronzon's lovely face again. Thankfully, he's not going to bring in the Bronzon protecting the Earthquake, and decide to go into his little Easter basket. So I am able to do a solid amount of damage. Unfortunately, I know he has the Aqua Jet, and I know he's gonna go for it. And I want to save this Dugtrio for later. So hesitantly, I send out my Katana, even though it's not made to take hit. I figured I'd at least be resisting the Aqua Jet. Unfortunately, that's not what he goes for. He goes for the knockoff, leaving my Katana in a very bad situation. Now, I was so close for going for Psycho Blade, but I decided to go for the safe play. Man, if I went for Psycho Blade, I actually probably could take out this Beedrill, because its 4-time resistance that grass attack, and yet it did a quarter of its health. And unfortunately, I have to sack out my Katana, because nothing I have remaining wants to take a U-turn from this dang thing. Man. At least that's what I was thinking at the time. Now that I got some time to think more about it though, my Milotic might have been able to take the hit pretty well. I do believe I have a bold nature which increases my defense, but I don't know if my effort values are trained towards defense, or if it's a mix. And I didn't want to take more than half to a U-turn just for one of his other Pokemon to follow up and destroy me. But here we are with my Milotic out anyways, down a Katana in the process. Now, that late screen up is gonna suck, but I'm gonna try to take advantage of the situation, because it looks like the burn that I put into range that it will go down to a burn next turn. So I'm gonna send my Dugtrio out here to get the switch initiative. Unfortunately, 1, he actually has an attacking move. 2, spoiler alert, the burn isn't gonna take it out this turn. Thankfully, despite the speed difference, I'm able to survive the hit because my Dugtrio quad resists that, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not gonna let it get another attack off on me, so I'll just go for the safe Iron Head, take it out, and brace myself for whatever comes next. Unfortunately, it's gonna be the Azumarill, and my mind immediately goes, nope, nope, I'm not giving you the satisfaction of Aqua Jetting me. But hey, with that Earthquake I got earlier on, it'll at least be in a range that I'll be able to outlive an Azumarill, despite the fact that both my attacks are resisted by the sky. So I'll take that Aqua Jet. I'll eat Aqua Jets for days with Haydunn. Now, predicting the knockoff, and just to get a little more leftover recovery before I lose it, I go for the Protect here. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to stay in. Unfortunately, it's not going to come to that. He's going to go for his mom, my mom, all of our moms, to scold us. Now, I go for the recover here, predicting another U-turn, because that's all this Beedrill's been doing this entire fight. But then it's like, hey, this Beedrill is poison and bug. It can do things besides U-turn, and I feel like that it's been wasted. I mean, I kind of needed to recover, and if I was Marvel scale and not competitive, that recover actually would have mattered. But unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. All I can do is leave it in, maybe get Scald and take it out. But unfortunately, damage counts were not on my side. Heck, I mean, even if it was a 100% chance to KO me, that still is not being on my side. I got one more trick up my sleeve. This Dugtrio has Sucker Punch, specifically for situations like this, and I go for it, and I don't take out the Beedrill. And just to be all fancy smashy, this Beedrill drills my blondies. And that is the match. It was a good game though. Between you and me, I was expecting to get even more body than I actually did. But the fact that he actually liked the battle enough to upload it really surprised me. So there must have been something good about this fight. Seriously though, Haydunn, good match, good game. I don't know if we're ever going to get the battle again, but I would love to have a battle against your team once I have a team that's even better than this one. One that takes full advantage of Pokemon from all generations and not just the Alolan spectrum. And to you guys, the viewers, thank you all for watching. Again, check out the YouTube cards to see Haydunn's side of the battle. I can assure you that it's even more entertaining than mine. If you enjoyed this battle, be sure to check out the YouTube cards for more Pokemon battles. If you want to support me, feel free to subscribe and give this video a like. Feel free to comment if you got anything you want to share, whether it be praise or constructive criticism, or just what your favorite pair of pants is. I don't know what I was thinking, that's just the first original thing that came to my mind. Anywho, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one. Can't guarantee when I'll have another full 6v6, but with all the Pokemon battle stuff I have in backlog, I can assure you there'll be something soon. Take care.